Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Fitcredibles podcast / show. We're back again with some more amazing fitness topics to cover and delve deep into. Please stay for the full episode. It's going to be a good one. We're going to be covering so many topics. We've got questions that have been sent in through social media. If you do have your own individual questions, anything that you're wondering in terms of fitness and health, how to achieve a goal, if it's mindset, nutrition, fitness based, whatever it may be, send it in to us and we will answer it. And we're back again. Like I said, we're going to make this episode fun, exciting, and amazing for you. So please, again, do stay for the full episode. As we always say, as a rule of thumb, send this to 2 people that you feel can benefit from this episode. Of course, don't forget, like, share, comment, drop a comment, tag a friend. Like I said, we appreciate the support. Keep supporting. It means so much to us. And yeah, we'll get into it. So we've got myself again on host, the best host in the biz, in the space. And we've got Ezra. Ezra's here.
The best co-host.
The best co-host, Ezra.
Yeah.
How you doing, bro? How's everything going?
No, really, really good, man. It's like really good. It's the longest summer we've probably ever had. So
yeah, summer's coming to
weather's been good. Got the waves out. Got a nice fresh.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I can see it.
This is the first one you haven't got a haircut.
Yeah. Oh my God. I need to put this, trim it. So I'll get my haircut to trim it. He cancelled on me last minute. So I've got no haircut. I'm looking at this on set. But for you guys, we'll do it, innit? It's not a problem for you guys. Let's get into first the rebrand and the few changes that we've had from the last podcast. So yeah, we basically had like a rebrand. We've kind of changed logo, feel of like the brand identity and that sort of stuff. And currently got the new logo here. This is larger. It is in like a larger format. But we've got a new website as well.
Yeah. So we've got the new website where you can sign up to our online personal training. We've got the e-commerce now as well. So people can grab at the moment we're selling resistance bands. We've got socks on the site. We've got caps. We've also got the Fitcredibles athlete tee as well. And then coming in October, we're going to be launching the tracksuit. So you'll be able to get similar stuff to what I've got on at the moment with the sweatshirts, hoodies. But they're going to be very limited pieces. So grab them while you can and we'll keep you updated when they come out as well.
Yeah. So the tracksuits, like we said, we've been getting so many messages and demand for them, but they're finally here. They're going to be able to pre-order for October.
Yep. So yeah, pre-order, look out for the pre-order. And yeah, just make sure you grab them while you can, because once they're gone, we're not going to re-release them.
Limited drops. We're going limited drops, guys.
Limited. And one more thing as well that we're going to do as well is if you live in East London, we'll personally deliver it to you.
Yeah, so, free delivery for East London. So if you live in East London, make an order and we'll bring it to you. Ez will hand deliver it to you. Hand deliver it to you. Electric car, boom, there, drop it off. Give you your package, or I'll even cycle. If you prefer, I'll cycle to you and I'll drop it off to your door, hand delivered, quality.
Exactly.
Ez has got the full grey looking, dapper looking suave. He's got the all grey. You've also probably seen some of our other tracksuits as well online on social media. So yeah, that is that. Exciting times. We've got so many things going on. And also the website the link will be in the description, and we'll also put it on screen if needs be, www.fitcredibles.co.uk. Almost forgot that. So as we're recording this, it is Carnival weekend.
Yeah.
So you're not going there? No, you got your waves, you got your fresh on now?
No way, man. I couldn't be in them, man. Too short. I'll be in a grey tracksuit. I'll be a target, man.
Yeah. Target for who?
No comment.
Okay, yeah. No, but yeah, as like we said, it's Carnival weekend. It's kind of like the last stand for the summer before the winter period comes. So that goes nicely. So we've got some questions in. Let's get started with the questions that we got on social media. So like I said, we thank you for all the questions that we have had sent in from the last podcast. People have been DMing us. There's a few topics they want us to cover on the podcast, and we got them today, so we'll get straight into them. I'm sure you guys want to hear our opinions on them, so we'll go. They're more fitness related. So first one, how has social media changed the health and fitness space, and is it for better or worse? So Ez, do you want to kick us off? How has social media changed the fitness?
I don't know. I think there's good and bads to everything, but I think more so now we're in a weird space where a lot of people, I've been noticing a lot more people doing these crazy workouts. So I think I saw someone doing a pull-up on a spinning bike and hanging off. And like, it's just like we're in a weird space where...
So do you feel the main thing is just that social media has made things more extreme?
I think it made it more extreme because people are doing it for clickbaits and views. I think now anyone, well, it's happening before, but now more than ever, anyone can be a professional. So everyone's giving out uneducated advice. Everyone is promoting these things that look crazy on TV or on your phone just to engage with people. But realistically, the substance behind it is lacking. So yeah, in terms of, let's not be all negative. In terms of positivity, I feel like the social media has broadened the horizon for fitness. So now we're probably getting more people in the gyms. Yeah. More people are open to fitness. But the flip side of that coin is there's a lot more nonsense out there. There's a lot more noise, like what we always talk about. And if you're someone that doesn't have the backing knowledge, you're more likely to be enticed by these crazy workouts like doing pull-ups with a spinning back hanging from your legs.
Yeah, let's be honest, like social media brings more eyes to a certain specific topic. So obviously with that fitness and health has had more eyes on it and it's become a bigger industry due to that. So that comes with negatives and positives, like you said. But yeah, the crazy workouts are definitely one. I think as well, maybe because of social media, there's been more... I think it's the flip side. There's been more misinformation because it's easier to get information out there. Whereas before social media, I guess there's only like forums and certain places that you can go and they can be more monitored, where social media is not really monitored. So you can get a lot more misinformation.
100%. And to be fair, if we're honest, in terms of training, nutrition, it's boring. So it's a harder sell. But if someone comes onto your phone and says, you can lose weight in 10 days, just drink lemon water, for example. Someone's going to gravitate towards that because it's very
lemon
easy.
water doesn't work?
It does.
God, that one's...
But someone's going to gravitate towards that. But if you're on someone's phone breaking down the science, are people going to buy into that as much? It's not as fun. So yeah.
And I think like we was talking before the podcast started about like the Andrew Tates of the world and these people. And like you can see controversy in social media definitely gets pushed and more engagement. So obviously with fitness and health, like you said, the things that you need to do are quite boring. So if you're controversial and you say something outlandish, you're going to get more response or get more views. So that's what it's tending to. It's tending people to say things that are outlandish in fitness and health, right? Because that's what's going to get them views. And because of that, it gets like distorted between if you not giving the right information. So there's now with social media, it's kind of a thing of, do you give false information
for views
and get views because views is seen as the correct thing of what you need to do to be successful, or do you give the correct information, but maybe you're not going to get as many hits and views because it's not as exciting or sexy.
Yeah, true. But I feel like another thing as well, why I say it's interesting is that because there's more eyes on the fitness industry, I feel like if you have a strong enough message, over time, you'll stand the test of time. So
yeah,
as long as you keep hammering home that message,
because you know even these fitness influencers, the things that we bang on about and we say like the principles and the correct basics of fitness, they believe in it because obviously they must believe in it, no? Because they like, that's how they got to their goal, right? They follow them.
Nah.
I'm talking about not all of them. I'm not talking about like, I'm not talking about the extreme of Brazilian butt lifts and that. But I'm like, even some of I'm not going to say names, but some of the guys that are in top of the industry and that are doing well, they do follow those principles, but they're not going to go and say, oh, you know, do this or resistant training, Some of them might do, but I think a lot of them have to make it seem a lot more sexy. That's why you got these fitness influencers going at each other, right? Because it gets views, right? So,
but I think as well with that, there's basically people that spread the right message, but they've got like an enhanced body, for example. Yeah. So for me, where I feel like it's a conflict of interest anyway, is if you've had a butt lift and then tell someone to do the correct exercises.
Yeah, that's bad.
I feel like it's false because they're expecting that if they do those exercises you're telling them, they're going to get your bum.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's mad.
That's what I'm saying. So it's false advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
But then
it's like anything. It's like you can't go to. I'm trying to translate it into another field. You can't be a doctor and do tests online. You know what I mean? Do tests online, get a fake certificate that you're a doctor, and then go and start doing surgeries because the person's gonna die because what you're saying isn't based on science or facts or whatever it may be.
That's a good point. So that's a big problem.
Did you? Sorry, just go to stay off of it. Did you see the thing with James Smith PT and the other guy?
That was a bit sad still.
Yeah, what did you?
I feel like the other guy got bullied. But
yeah, because it brings in an interesting thing, I guess. I only saw a bit of the kind of like the back and forths.
Yeah.
But it was like a bit over like discussing basically, I think one like calories and like health benefits of things, because I guess nowadays as well we do. Yeah, like there's just that bit of thing like do you like health and fitness like more of a, you know, like a holistic way of looking at it and thinking about the products and what you put into your body, and then like the calorie aspects as well of, you know, obviously to lose weight you need to be in a calorie deficit. And so it's just such a like interesting thing. Yeah. I think both of them obviously have good content, and I think it's just like we said, it's more like controversial, right?
More controversial. I feel like everything's case by case. So for some people, the holistic way may work. Yeah. But living in the Western world, how we live in it, it's very hard for you not to consume sugars, for example, or sweeteners.
It's true.
So I feel like the point that guy was making about artificial sweeteners and stuff like that, he's always going to get targeted. You can't tell people to cut out Robinson's Ribena for the rest of their lives, and then if they start cutting that out.
I actually watched another podcast with the Mind Pump guys, and he actually said that he was like, you need to be realistic in health and fitness as well. And if someone's cutting out having Coke, which is high in sugar, to have sweeteners or like in a Diet Coke or something else, I think there's like, it's still obviously not the best, but that's them, like it's a journey, isn't it? That's them improving, that's them improving their ways. So it's like, and then you're right. If you go to someone and say, don't have this because that's bad, it's like there needs to be a transition for them to get to there. So if you're saying to them, don't have that, it's kind of like they will just say, you know what, if I'm not gonna have a sweet, I might as well just have my high in sugar thing, like my high in sugar Coke. And
people are saying stuff for the shock factor of it. So if you scroll past someone says, don't drink Ribena, it gives you cancer, you're gonna stop.
Because that's the same thing about I saw the video, a doctor, he done a video about the probiotics and then
the gut health,
and stuff. And he was like, don't buy Actimel. Because like it has bad probiotic, it has bad microbes. And then the guy broke it down and said, what does bad mean? Like, that's not really... but it's like buzzwords again in the fitness industry. I'm not saying he's wrong. He might have good intentions, but it's like, when you're saying buzzwords, it like sounds sexy, sounds good, innit? Like, oh, don't have this as bad bacterial and that sort of thing. Buy this one. And it's like, oh, cool. That's, you know, it's a buzzword. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful with that because it can be quite dangerous because, you know, you see it in the fitness industry a lot. People say, don't eat this. This is a bad food. This is not a good food. But then it's like, no foods are bad. It's just, and I guess that's what James was probably saying, you know?
Yeah, no foods are bad. It's just how you utilize them.
How do you utilize it, exactly.
But it links to what you're saying. So linking back to the question you asked, I don't blame social media in its entirety. I feel like the problem is the entry level to becoming a personal trainer. Because at the end of the day, we're meant to be health professionals. And as you said, a doctor can't get his or hers doctorate online in 6 weeks. But you can become a fully fledged personal trainer with kettlebells, TRX in 6 weeks, never trained anyone in person. And then at the end of the day, you have got people's lives in your hands. So
what's that thing you sent me as well? I think on Instagram, it was about like dating. You don't get dating advice from...
I remember, but there's loads of things.
Do you remember the video you sent me, that doctor, and he was like, oh, you don't get dating advice from someone, so then why do health professionals... Something like that.
Yeah, but it's true though. You're not gonna get dating advice from
anyone,
from someone that's never dated or ever got any girls in their life or something. But
but to summarize, social media, like anything, social media is a powerful tool, and with that, you can obviously, it can go either way. And you've obviously got people that are giving good information and that are, you know, educating people and doing the right things. But then with that as well, you've got people that are abusing it as well. and then there's just more scrutiny. If you say something on the internet now, it's like, we've had it before. You put posts up. I think there was one where you put a post up with the RDLs with plates, and it's like, you're not going low enough. But it's like, you know what I mean? You was obviously right, because you are going lower than you usually would with a conventional RDL. So it's like, social media brings eyes on things and obviously opens topics of discussion, which is good. But I think to summarize, I think it has changed it for better in a way as well, I believe.
And to summarize, don't at me on Instagram. I'm sick of these trolls.
All right, cool. I guess this one is another good one that we can get into following from there. How do you know if you're making improvements in the gym? So, yeah, that's a good question. How do you know if you're making improvements in the gym?
There's a few ways. So say, for example, with our clients, I feel like the most basic way, depending on where you're starting your journey, most basic way can be tracking your weights. If you're obviously getting stronger over time, that shows an improvement. But even if you want to scale it back from then, if you're someone that's never gone to the gym, but now you're confident going to the gym 3 times per week, that shows progress in another light, because you're showing consistency and the fact that you haven't quit and haven't given up. So, yeah.
I got something as well. How do you know how can you gauge if an improvement is good enough or not? Like, how can someone know, okay, this is a good improvement? Because I guess that's like...
It literally depends. It's case by case, because if you're very new in the gym, your improvements are going to be vast and very quick. But like yourself and myself, for example, we've been training for a while. So our weights aren't going to jump up by 50 kg, for example, in a month or something. The progress will be very minimal. So it's got to be case by case, and then it depends on what the person feel is success for them. So as I said, you just going to the gym might be enough success for you, but for someone else, they might want to do 100 kg bench, 200 kg bench. So how do they get from 100 kg to 200 kg, and how long does it take them? So yeah, it's very, very difficult, to be fair.
I guess with improvement, there's 2 ways of looking at it. There's like the physical one where you're seeing changes to your body, measurements, and then there's also like the mental aspect of it, where you're going to the gym more, you're feeling better, you're feeling more confident. So there's definitely those 2. But I guess, like, back to my question where I was also like, how can you judge if an improvement is good enough for someone? I think for the average person, because again, that's social media, innit? There's such competition. And we're in a world now where in 6 weeks to 10 weeks, we want to be the complete package. So it's quite difficult. But I guess I want to give something tangible, like something people can say, okay, this is something good to aim for, or something good to work towards. I guess weights, like improving reps, either the amount of reps you're doing on an exercise, reps set. So for example, if you're doing 8 reps of a particular exercise, going up to 10 or 12 reps is an improvement, or being able to do an extra set, or then obviously also increasing the weight. I think within 6 to 10 weeks, that's a good improvement.
A more of a lifestyle one would be, so funny enough as well, from reading what happens with a lot of people on their weight loss journey, within the first year or 2, 80% of people actually put the weight back on. So a good way to measure your success would be if you don't actually put that weight back on and it's actually sustainable. So I feel like for people...
That's a really good one, yeah.
That would be a good one.
Nice. Spot on. All right, cool. The next question is, and I think it tailors in quite nicely to that one, that was the question we just answered. Do you need to train 5 times a week to get results?
No.
No, you don't need to train every day to get results. But if you're training every day, you're gonna...
Yeah, if you're
training every day, you're gonna...
But you don't have to.
Yeah. But then this comes into how important is recovery and rest. Some articles actually, and some research out there actually says it's more important, like you can see more gains during rest period and recovery period than actually from working out.
No, 100%. But I feel like, you don't have to train 5 days a week. But I would say a minimum would be 3. But if you're doing 3, you probably want to be doing full body every single day. So that way you're hitting the muscle groups 2 to 3 times each and every week with enough volume, with enough weight, for example. But you don't have to train 5 days a week. And again, like we touched on in the other podcast, the majority of us as everyday individuals can't commit to 5 days a week for the rest of our lives. 3 days is way more realistic.
And when you're saying 3 days, it might be, so okay, we just need to clarify this point. It could be 5 days that you're doing activity. You're saying 3 days of resistance training at least. It doesn't have to be 5 days of resistance training. That is something that we should cover up as 100%. Well. Because you can do 5-6 days, like activity-wise, walking,
yoga.
That's fine.
So yeah, but I don't think you have to do 5 days of resistance training per week. But then another thing as well, there's a study which shows that the difference between doing 3 days to 5 days, depending on the individual's level. So I think it was in lesser trained individuals. It's actually quite similar in terms of the progress they'll make in terms of strength, for example. So that shows that you could literally train 3 and 5 days and the gains you're making isn't that much different.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
Yeah, it's not a must to train 5 days a week.
Yeah, it's
resistance
true.
training.
Yeah, recovery is something that can be overlooked at times.
100%.
People feel like more is better, but it's not always the case. And that's where it just comes about, like programming and just being very smart in the way that you manage your time as well. And if you can, like you said, find things that you enjoy as activities, because activities, resistance training, as if you've seen other topics, we discussed the importance of resistance training for health and fitness and how that should be the staple block if you want to lose fat and, you know, you want to live a healthier lifestyle. So that should be prioritized. Then outside of that, you can obviously do other activities. So yeah, that is a good response there. Next question here is, should you prioritize health in terms of, I guess, what they're trying to say is like healthy eating?
Yeah.
Should you be not thinking about calories and focusing on just having a good, healthy diet? And again, what healthy means is subjective. Or focusing on calories and what you know, the amount of calories you consume and bring.
I feel like for focus on health should always be your main focus, because I feel like with focus on health, the byproduct will be you looking better, and for most people that might be losing fat, losing weight. So if you do those things like you said, rest more, train more.
Yeah, but Ez, what about if you can live a healthy? You can be healthy and eat healthy and, like, again, it's subjective, but still put on weight, like still have too many calories though.
You can, but then is that living a healthy lifestyle? Because even though you're eating more food, which is healthy, you're still eating more food. So there's gonna have to be a point where you're like binging or overeating, I would say. I feel like a healthy lifestyle is basically everything within balance. So that wouldn't incorporate overeating. So I would say, if you are truly living a healthy lifestyle, your portion sizes would be that of a normal human being. And I feel like it's very hard to eat salad, for example, and put on crazy amounts of weight. But not saying that the only way is eating salad, for example.
Of course,
But I feel a healthy lifestyle should be balanced, nothing in excess. And if you're doing stuff like that, 100%, you'll start to lose fat, lose weight.
Because I guess that's more of like, I guess like some people will, and I guess a lot of the time is a focus on calories, right? Because to lose weight, as you know, probably mentioned 100 times, to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit. So I guess a lot of the times that is pushed and people do focus on that. I think a big message is, again, like you've probably seen it, is eat less, move more, like have less calories and obviously eat more to be healthier. But is that enough? Is that enough to be healthy? Is that enough to, again, healthy is subjective, but is that enough to,
I don't feel like eating, so the reason why I would say not just focusing on calories, another thing as well, calories, if you are living a healthy lifestyle, would fall under that umbrella as well. In terms of understanding how much you should be eating. Okay,
but like theoretically, let's say if someone's trying to lose weight and calorie deficit for them is 1,500, and then they're having a meal in McDonald's, I don't know, maybe 1,000, or even KFC, that's 1,000 calories. They're having breakfast, or they're not even really eating much, having 2 meals a day. They're still at a calorie deficit, no?
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, it's just not realistic, not sustainable.
That individual wouldn't be seen as healthy. They're having a lot of processed foods and stuff like that, but they're in a calorie deficit. So, you know, of course, that wouldn't be deemed as a healthy lifestyle.
But it depends what you deem as healthy. Because I'm saying, if we're looking at health as in terms of can you move better? Do you feel better? Do you sleep better? Then just focus on calories isn't going to do enough.
Yeah.
But if for some people, it might just be the aesthetics of it. So them eating nothing, there's been people that have done studies where they're just eating McDonald's. And after that, look at that guy that done the documentary.
Yeah, I remember he was eating McDonald's. What was it called again?
What's it?
Is it Man versus... No, that's
Something
another
else.
guy.
But it's been ones where they just
he
eat
eats
junk
McDonald's
for
and
breakfast,
then
lunch and dinner.
but he works out after that. He trains after and he's like...
And he's having heart problems and stuff
yeah,
like
he
that.
has
So
heart problems and stuff like that.
it all matters like what is health to you. So yeah, if your sole purpose is for aesthetics, you're probably not going to really... Some people might, but you're not going to focus on so much the healthier side of things.
Yeah, nice. This actually goes into the next question that we got, which is, can you out-train a bad diet? And I've kind of like paraphrased it a bit because that's the question. Can an individual out-train a bad diet? Is that possible?
Not at all. Because training itself, for example, the amount of calories you burn in one gym session isn't even ever going to outweigh the foods and stuff. So it's always the stuff that you do outside the gym anyway. So
also, you know, like if you do like a resistance training session and you know, some people got like, you've obviously got the Apple Watch as well and you use it, or you can even get a rough estimate. When you actually go to do like a resist or some sessions, there's not even that many calories actually burnt.
Not at all.
In the actual session. So like you think about it, again, if you're looking at an energy balance, you can go to McDonald's and have one meal and like I just said like 1,000 calories or something around that. But then you'll train a whole resistant train session. It'll maybe be like 200, 300
calories. You
calories.
burn off the chips.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, it's crazy. How much effort you would need to put in to out-train a bad diet. It's probably not even worth having a bad diet. That's why people say abs are made in the kitchen or the diet's the main thing. Because it's really true. You can't out-train a bad diet. It's like, it's impossible. Unless you're training 10 hours a day or something.
No, but even then it would be impossible because I actually wanted to do like a research or like a experiment on this.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like if you're having 1,000 calories or more and it's processed food and in a gym session, like you said, like, I mean, what's exercise would you say is quite high in burn? Like skipping, I think they said skipping's quite
good. Swimming's good.
Swimming, yeah. And even those things you won't like an hour, like, I don't know, like 30 minutes swimming, still the amount of calories wouldn't even touch.
Literally, I think when I was researching, it's like, I think you had to do like over 2 hours of rowing on a rowing machine to burn off like, I think it was like a cheeseburger, a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger, yeah.
It's like, who's rowing for 2 hours?
It's crazy. So you can never out-train it. And it's like, we're just talking about one example of having a processed meal, a McDonald's meal. That's just in 1 minute, you're still due to have other foods within that time. So if you're in an office job, for example, and you're having 3,000, 4,000 calories in a day, or you're having a big meal at lunch and so on and so forth, like it is so difficult. And it is such a mental draining point because you're already setting yourself back because you've already had such a high level of calories. Then to go into your training, it just is demoralizing, isn't it? It's just mentally, 100%. It's mentally fatiguing because you think like how am I gonna... But again, we don't want to do a thing where you're focusing on calories in, like where your whole life has just become, I have to have this calorie for that calorie. But it is also important to note these things as well.
Yeah. So literally just understanding what you're putting in your body, understanding, because people, we're all going to have a McDonald's from time to time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't build your whole diet around McDonald's every day.
And you also need to look at it at a longer term as well. Like you said, one bad meal, again, even though we do say that isn't going to make a major difference, but continuously having that bad meal.
That's when it becomes a habit.
That's when it becomes a habit.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. All right. Are you too tired to exercise after work? Exercise has been shown to actually boost energy levels, boost your mood, and also help with stress and anxiety. So, Ez, why are a lot of people not taking advantage of this? We're spending long hours, seated positions, looking at the screens, sitting in dark rooms without sunlight, to go home and repeat the same things. So sitting on our sofa, on our phones, watching Netflix, in the dark again, and we're not getting out, we're not getting sunlight, we're not getting that social aspect, we're not going into the gym, where gym and exercise has been shown to boost those things. So of course, after a long 8-hour shift or 12-hour shift at work, you are naturally going to feel tired. We understand that. We felt that as well before. But exercise have these benefits to boost your energy, boost your mood, and allow you to feel fresher and fresher during the day. So why is this not being taken advantage of? And what are the benefits that people can take away from exercise and helping them train before or after work?
Yeah, I feel like the main reason why it hasn't been taken advantage of is simply because of maybe motivation. Because, yeah, it's not easy. So I feel like a lot of people, you need to be motivated to be in the gym regularly. And if you've been working a full day at work, you might have had a bad day. Probably the last thing you want to do is go to the gym. You might want to go home, watch a bit of TV, relax. Maybe have a bottle of wine or a glass, for example. So I feel like the main reason why people are missing out on a trick in terms of the benefits you can get from exercise is because life just wears you down. It can like kill your motivation for you to do it. So that'll be one main thing. And then
I've actually got a research being done by the NHS, and it actually was discussing inactivity, sedentary lifestyle. And it actually said inactivity is described by the Department of Health and Social Care as a silent killer. So it says evidence is emerging that sedentary behavior, such as sitting or lying down for prolonged hours, is bad for your health. Not only should you try to exercise regularly every day, but you should also reduce the time you spend actually sitting down. So how crazy is that when we know we spend 8 hours in seated position non-stop and not moving at all? Like,
yeah,
it's insane, isn't it?
No, it's crazy. And yeah, it's like, but I feel like the world that we live in now, everything's for comfort. So even the desks, when you see people in these offices now, some of their seats are super comfy. So I feel like we're living in a world where it's designed for us to be comfort, and we are creatures of comfort. So yeah, we're gonna lean into that side.
It's also important is I mean, like I said, even if you're going to the gym 3 times a week and you're doing resistance training, you're active outside of it as well, it's still important to not rest on your laurels and just have a day where you're just sitting down and doing nothing for much. Like, even if you're recovering or you're resting, go out and be active, go for a walk, do some housework. I don't think you should ever be a point where you just stop and just be lazy. Even if you're on holiday, you should still go out, walk, sightseeing. You should always naturally just be active. You should always try to partake in some form of activity or exercise. If you're in an office job, do not stay seated for longer than 2 hours. Get up, move, go for walks, go out. You got standing desks now. Utilize and maximize and using standing desks. Maybe just go off your desk. I know it might seem a bit weird. Doing some squats, do some lunges, do some lower body activities. Yeah, just keep active. Because like I said, from that research study, and as you probably see from other studies that have been done, inactivity is a big thing. Even if you are active 3 times a day, you should also always try to carry that and have some level of activity every day. Should always try to keep that up.
100%. So what would you say are the best benefits
of
activity and training?
The best benefits of activity and training, I think your mood, it definitely lifts up your mood. You feel more productive. You feel like you're achieving something. You're working to something that is bigger than anything because it's for yourself. You're reaching your goals. You're becoming fitter. You're going to become stronger. And when you're healthy as a byproduct, you're able to do more things. You're able to be more productive at work. You're able to spend more time with your family. You're more likely to have better relationship. You're more likely to be a better person people want to be around. You're better to be more confident in yourself, which again is a byproduct. You're going to be more successful because you're more confident. You're able to go out and do things because you're a go-getter because of your exercise, because of your mood. Another thing is, again, like you said, tailors into, we're in an era now where a lot of people are suffering from mental health issues, which is exercise beats that. That's like you said last time, we say a mental health is a health issue. It's not, you don't have to be overweight and obese. Mental 100%. Health is a health issue, and so many studies, hope we can put some on the screen. So many studies show how exercise and strength training has been shown to support and help with stress and anxiety. with, you know, low self-esteem. Like it's been mentally, the neurons that it fires the brain, you know, your CNS system, as we said, your whole, but when you're working out, especially resistance training, your whole body is partaking in that, you know, your mind through the CNS, you know, your muscles, your skeletal system, your whole body, everything is working to move that object or to get stronger. So, you know, what about yourself? What kind of things would you say?
I'll say like a main one would be just preserving life, for example. So you working out, you're more likely to live longer. That will allow you to be with your family, your friends for longer, be on this earth a lot longer. So that's like, I feel like the main thing is just living longer and living, it improves your quality of life. So there's nothing worse, I feel like, than you don't want to get older and they say you have kids or you have nieces, nephews, younger cousins, and you can't keep up with them, you can't even play with them, and they're just running circles around you. So I feel like the quality of life that it gives you is amazing. Another thing as well, just improve sleep. How much people do we speak with or that struggle with sleep? And in the moment they start exercising, they feel like, I'm getting a really great night's sleep. And something like sleep as well, that triggers to like depression, anxiety. If you're not sleeping enough, you can start binge eating more. Yeah, that's so true. So there's so many knock-on effects where just you doing a bit of extra exercise can eliminate a lot of those things. So yeah, that'll be my 2.
Yeah, there's again another study, Harvard Medical School. Exercise can boost your memory and thinking skills. We know exercise is important to preserve muscle strength, keeping your heart strong, and also maintaining a healthy body weight. However, and also added to that, it can also boost your thinking skills. So exercise boosts your memory. You know, that's Alzheimer's and those things as you get older. So, you know, that's going to obviously help you out. Thinking skills, and it directly and indirectly, it acts on the body by stimulating physiological changes, such as reductions in insulin, resistance and inflammations, along with encouraging production of growth factors, chemicals that can affect the growth of new blood cells in the brain, and even the abundance and survival and overall health of new brain cells. So, you know, this is all there's a lot that it can do. He's like, yeah, a lot.
It's a lot.
But no, it's like, there's a lot that
exercise is medicine, man.
It is 100%.
And I feel like, yeah, just because you can't go and get a prescription from the NHS doesn't mean it should be missed out. And I feel it's something that everyone can do for free.
Like, it's not tangible. Like sometimes it's not something that you go to the shop and you get. I know some people go Turkey and try and make it that, but it's like literally it's not something tangible. It's something that is consistently worked on and that you have to always consistently focus on and develop. You're never the complete person. You're never the complete health individual. I said in that activity, regardless of who you are, it can have serious effects. So you need to keep active and keep moving. Also, like we said, back to point, boosting, you know, with work, like that's what the topic was. The question was, it was with work, after work. Now, when you're in the routine of going work, coming back home, you feel that that's normal to you. That is the norm. That's what's comfortable for you. However, when you break that and you start working out, you will see the benefits. Obviously, it's not instant. A lot of the things that we talked about and a lot of these research discussed, like physical activity for 6 months and on. So like obviously a more consistent basis. But you will reap the benefits, we can assure you, after a while, after you've got into that routine. So the first building point, so we can make it a bit easier to achieve, is actually set yourself small targets, small goals. If that's even just going out for a walk, if that's parking up the car and going for a long walk, cycling, wherever it may be, just find a level of activity. We're not telling you to start off doing 1,000 burpees and going into CrossFit classes and doing Ezra's workouts. We're saying to you to just pick a simple activity that you can consistently do, and just, I think a good rule of thumb is just avoid inactivity. If you can just avoid inactivity, and a goal is not to stay seated for longer than 3 hours, if you can avoid that and find activities and things that you can do, that is a good starting point to work from.
100%. Just couldn't say any better.
Yeah, thank you. Do you know anything to add on to that?
No, it's amazing. I was going to cry, man.
Thank you so much.
Such passion, and that's what we got you here for, man.
I try, man. I do try, Ez. I do try. All right, cool. And that fits in nicely. This is what I actually wanted to go into, and I'm happy there's this question because you can actually go to it. Cardio versus resistance training for fat loss. This is big. This is massive. You know, when you go to the gym, the busiest thing, I would say it's probably changed a bit more.
Yeah,
but the busiest thing before was the cardio equipment. Treadmill, cross trainer, rowing machine. That's what people are on. We don't need to talk about the technique on some of those things, but they're on those machines. They're utilizing them. If someone wants to get fit, they naturally go out for a run. That's the first thing people associate with cardio for fat loss. Probably maybe because bodybuilding was looked at for resistance training and long distance runners or runners were looked healthy, and that's, you know, that skinny petite physique was looked at as the gold standard of health. And maybe that's what people tailor to go to cardio. But the point being is cardio machines are probably changing a bit more, still seen as the best thing for fat loss if you ask your normal average Joe. However, numerous research studies have shown that resistance training is in fact superior and more beneficial for fat loss. So, Ez, what's going on? Talk to me. Why is cardio still being pushed as the tool to get things like see people on the Stairmaster? I'm just going to go on. Let me let you take over.
I feel like it's an easy entry point. It's a lot easier because you can literally get on a treadmill, press go, and you can just go like a hamster wheel, for example. You don't have to focus on much. And I feel like, as you said before, bodybuilding was seen, for example, as something scary for the masses. You saw these big, massive hench guys. So now, basically, keep it short. Cardio, a lot easier to do, lower entry point. Whereas,
but let's get into nitty gritty. Why is cardio? What's the physiological or biomechanical differences that make resistance training more? Like I said, some research studies have shown, there's been research studies with groups, different test groups that have tested just resistance training, just cardio, and then mix, and then, you know, exploring results. And resistance training has been shown to make the difference. And we've also seen it, you know, with clients as well. You can see it a lot of the time. I guess there is a bit of a misunderstanding between weight loss and fat loss, because to lose weight, obviously, like we said, it's a matter of calories. It comes down to what you're consuming, not. So if you're burning loads of calories and not really eating much, you're naturally going to lose weight, as we've discussed. Whereas with fat loss, you need to be a lot more cute with it, shall we say. You need to be a lot more smarter with the way you approach it.
Yeah. And I feel like, of course, if you want to lose fat, you're going to need to build muscle anyway. So that's why resistance training will be better at that, because that's what you're actually doing. You're breaking down the muscle, building up, and then you're going to build more muscle over time. So there's like a trade-off from the fatty tissues you have to the muscle tissues. But it's still weird that even till today, a lot of people still push cardio. We're not biggest fans of cardio. Obviously, cardio does have its benefits for the cardiovascular system, your lungs, your heart, and stuff like that. So it does still serve a purpose in the world of fitness. But for fat loss, let's say resistance training is a lot more efficient rather than better, I would say. Yeah. In my opinion. Obviously, there's studies that show it, but I'll say, it's just a bit more efficient.
Yeah, because then, okay, cool. Then if someone does want to do resistance training their cardio with resistance training, would you say there's a best time to do your resistance training? Before the session, after session?
I would say cardio, 100% you want to do it after.
Yeah.
Because...
it's actually funny that I was seeing the Mind Pump, some doctor, they were actually discussing, said the best is to do resistance training before strength training. It's actually the best. But they obviously were like... Wait,
resistance training? What do you
cardio. Before. Doing cardio before. But they were basically dispelling it and saying, that's not true. There isn't.
Yeah, so when you look at the science of it, obviously...
Because it was something along the lines that she said, when you do cardio before resistance training, it actually helps the resistance training, which they like the session, which they said is not actually true, because what you want to do is, like you said, you want to at the start of the session maximize the most important element, which is going to obviously be resistance training, not cardio, and that's what they were.
And I feel like if you was to do cardio before your resistance training, your central nervous system is going to be attacked, so your energy levels are going to be lower. You're not going to be able to lift as heavy. Your technique, as you being tired might waver a bit as the session goes on. So 100% you want to do your resistance training before. And then with cardio, if you are going on a treadmill, for example, you can take your time. You haven't got to worry so much about the force output, for example.
So what would you say is the best forms of cardio for someone to do?
Best form of cardio, the ones that we promote mainly would be like brisk walks, incline walks, for example.
Would you say HIIT training? Would you HIIT training?
You can do cardio with resistance as well and HIIT style stuff. The only reason why I promote stuff like brisk walks is because everyone can do it. So that's why I think it's probably not the most efficient and the most effective, but in terms of for the masses and that people can actually cope with, it doesn't matter how well trained you are, everyone can go for a walk. So that would be the one I promote.
And actually, I know it is true that resistance training is the best for fat loss and to also preserve and build muscle. But cardio can actually support that as well. So if you're a fitter and healthier individual and you've got better lung capacity and you've also got better endurance, it will also actually help your resistance training as well, because you're able to do a few extra reps, for example. You're able to do more volume in your sessions. So it does actually have a byproduct. But again, the main thing is resistance training should be the main bulk or focus of the session. Is essentially the point.
For fat loss, yeah.
For fat loss, yeah.
So yeah, 100% resistance training over fat loss.
And if someone's trying to build muscle. So if someone's trying to build muscle, what's the best forms of cardio, would you say? Because I think they were discussing it as well, and I think some research said that HIIT training is also good because anything that is, because obviously, anything that is longer than a set period of time or reps becomes endurance, where muscle starts to break down and it starts, the physiological factor changes, because then it's becoming another type of energy system. That's the one, energy system, yeah. Whereas HIIT training can be short and sharp, which is quite explosive and power based, which fits into building muscle and stuff. So HIIT training can actually be good for building muscle as well, essentially, and at the same time help with
fat loss.
Fat loss, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you have anything that you want to cover? Any topics you want to discuss?
I just want to get your opinion on this one. This can be one. So
yeah, go on. Hit me up.
What's your opinion on people so I've been seeing it a lot recently, but people that build a career on taking steroids, for example, and then later on down the line, they want to say, oh no, I'm not doing that anymore. So what is your opinion on basically people that cheat to where they've gotten?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And come back and ask for forgiveness, basically.
Yeah,
what's your opinion?
I don't know, like steroids is I don't know. I think we'd probably be surprised about the amount of people that take steroids. Like, I do think it'll probably be quite high, because it's one of those where, all right, cool, he's taking steroids and he looks better than me, so I'm going to go. So I'm going to do that. But I'm going to change it, because I don't want to just talk about steroids. I'm going to say anything.
That's a cheat.
Performance enhancing. I feel like it's a controversial one. I feel like because of the image and the aesthetics of it, I feel like people feel like, again, there's no patience. I need the results by yesterday. I need it now. So I feel like people want to cheat or want to get there faster. Let's say cheat or whatever. They want to get to that stage faster, and they'll do whatever it needs to. So I feel like it's difficult, because I feel like I feel like, yeah, you could change and you could be a different person. You could not, you could change your thoughts on something. Like, you're not the same person you were 5 years ago. You could change your thoughts on something. However, I feel like you do need to add that over the disclaimer. I think whatever you do, you should be honest and you should be genuine. You cannot tell someone to do something and you cheated or took shortcuts to get there, and tell someone else to not do that, unless you're clearly stating otherwise, that you done otherwise. Because you need to give them the full picture. I can't go to someone and say to them, you need to do this, knowing fair well that I didn't do that and I done it another way. Because first, it's dangerous, because you didn't actually get to that. So you don't even know if it works, because you didn't even actually do that. Secondly, as well, is that builds a bad foundation because already you're not being honest. So what else are you not being honest about? What else is what else you had? And if you've done it once, you could probably do it again. So that's my opinion on it. If you're not being honest and not bringing it right away to the forefront and saying, this is what you need to do, but with a disclaimer of I done this, then I think that's dangerous. And I think then then you're
exactly.
Yeah,
so
you're
that's what I would say. Totally agree with that. To keep it plain and simple, if you are, like we touched on before, if you're pushing lies, just put a disclaimer with it. So if you're going to sell a program, say results may differ if you're not on steroids, for example. Or if you're selling these booty programs, say results may differ if you don't go turkey. So just paint the full picture and be honest. But yeah, just want to touch on that because I've been seeing it pop up a lot. There's loads of these guys on steroids say, I'm not taking it no more. It's almost killing me.
I've got one for you. Okay, what's 3 ways for someone to achieve their first press up and pull up? 3 ways that they can improve or reach their first. I'm saying reach their first press up or pull ups.
We got a post on it.
3 tips.
There's an exercise. 3 tips.
Yeah, 3 tips.
So I'll say actually getting comfortable with doing the movement itself. So whether you're trying to do pull ups or press ups, there's machines nowadays where you can do an assisted variation of it, where you're getting used to doing the actual movement itself. Utilize resistance bands, and the final one would be to always progress. So if you're starting from doing them on your knees, you can utilize stuff like doing it off a bench, doing it off a wall, and build up slowly. So track your progress and actually progress the exercise. There'll be a lot of people that for years they're doing press ups on their knees, and they don't even know if they can do a pull.
What's some of the progresses from like a press up to a pull up like that you can transition through?
So, for example, a pull up progression may be doing it with bands or doing it off that machine which is on your knees and helps you lift up. Simple progression from that would be dropping the weight or using a lighter resistance band if you're doing it that way. There's stuff like for pull ups as well, scapular pulls.
What are the main, would you say the main muscle groups to help? So I think obviously improving your core is good as well for you if you're going to go to pull-ups because you need that. Your lats are also another important function in the pull-ups that you should probably improve. Because is there like individual isolated work that you can work on before you go and then jump on a pull-up?
Yeah, you can do even little stuff like, well, not little stuff, but movements like bent over rows. They'll have carryovers. But I think another thing, especially with pull-ups, a key thing that's missed is grip strength.
Yeah.
Most people, you'll see them try to do a pull-up and they're falling off just literally because they can't hold their weight and their grip strength is weak. So little things like training your forearm strength, your grip strength as well, is literally for any level. It makes a big difference. And that even has carryovers for like your deadlifts and stuff. Grip strength is key.
Yeah. 3 sports that transition well into resistance training. So 3 sports or activities that people can do that can transition nicely into resistance training and being comfortable with weight bearing or weightlifting.
3, I would say rowing, swimming, and probably rowing, swimming, and maybe like a team sport like football or basketball, just because there's a lot of jumping, bounding, changing direction.
Yeah, football is really actually good for your glutes, like good development and strength.
I would say rowing, swimming, football, basketball, they would be the 3.
Yeah.
3 sets 4.
Why? Can you go into it?
So rowing, I would say, because you're actually pulling against an actual bit of resistance. Swimming, again, you're doing movements through resistance, through water. And then, as we said before, with football, basketball, you do a lot of jumps, change of directions, a lot of explosive movements.
Yeah.
So it has really good carryovers for when you're doing resistance training.
Yeah. So those are 3 sports that you can carry over to. It's important activities, something that is a basic entry point into resistance training.
Yeah,
or weight bearing. What's your thoughts on CrossFit? Do you incorporate into your...
So I've been incorporating some sort of...
I caught you there for a minute. I don't
know.
What should I say?
Nah, I've incorporated some of them, but I don't know. It depends. Some of the workouts I feel it's just a lot of volume. And
it's not really for beginners. Would you say? Would you recommend it for beginners? I mean, it's
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It depends. For me, even when I first started, I found the volume of certain workouts a bit too much. Obviously, you can scale it down. So that's what I was doing at the start as well. But I feel like, for beginners, I feel it's probably not the safest. And I find it very hard to sort of track your progress. So
CrossFit is you can definitely incorporate. I think anything that you incorporate different aspects to can always be helpful. I don't think you should be one dimensional. I think you should definitely explore and try different things. That's something definitely that we've got into that we can do. All right, what's your tips? 3 tips for someone working an office job to help them, improve their fitness around work. So things that they can do to help them around work.
So if you're working an office job, 3 things would be either walking or cycling to work, whether that's the whole journey or part of the journey. So that way you can get in some steps and some exercise before you get to work. When you're around the office, another thing you can do is getting up for that cup of coffee, cup of drink, leaving the office actually for lunch as well, so you can incorporate some steps. Some of our clients as well, they've got handheld weights they take to work. So sometimes they do squats or stretch their legs throughout the day. So I would say everywhere you can, try to just incorporate a bit of extra movement, literally, and break it up throughout the day so it doesn't seem as like a labor task. And then, that'll be my 3.
Okay. How can you make the gym more enjoyable? What ways do you think you can make going to the gym more enjoyable, add positive connotations to the gym? How can we make someone's experience better in the gym? What kind of things you do? So I'll throw one in quickly. Let me throw one in. I think if you want to make your experience better in the gym, I think definitely, firstly, go at a quiet time, a period where you'll feel more comfortable. So that might be early, like really early in the morning, maybe lunchtime. Maybe you can take some extra time outside of work to go. Definitely quiet time. Also utilize quiet spaces. Some gyms have studios, a quiet space. Go take your dumbbells in there. And just do your own work, like your own space. Like, because I feel like you might make mistakes, but you need a space where you can develop and learn and make those mistakes and go through it. Another tip, if you're going to the gym, I think definitely to help you feel more confident and more at ease, have a program or a structure to follow through. So follow a structure and a plan that's set out. Practice it, prepare it from the first exercise to the last exercise. Know where the equipment is in the gym. So when you go, it's an easier transition. Have your rest period ready. Have everything organized and prepared. Even if you need to take your notes, there's nothing wrong with that. You're still learning, you're still developing. I think that's a good thing you can do.
And I feel like another thing you can do, because depending on how much time you're spending in the gym, it might become like your second home. So you wouldn't go to buy a property and not view the property beforehand. So I feel like you should actually do some homework on the gym you're going to. For some of our female clients, they want to train in female-only spaces. And there are a lot of gyms that provide spaces like that. So the key thing for me when selecting a gym is doing your homework on it, actually doing a free trial so you know if that gym's for you. Because there's nothing worse than going to a gym, you find that it's not cleaning up to your standards, or you find like there's no safe zone for, if you're a woman, for example, to train. So definitely do your homework and research before actually sign up to a gym, because it's an investment at the end of the day.
It's true. It's true. It is an investment. Take your time with the decision and make sure it's right for you. And if you need to change, find what's comfortable for you. How do you know if your fitness goal is realistic to you? What indicators can you know if it's realistic? Like, I might be someone that's new in the gym and I want to look like Kim Kardashian in a couple of months. Is that realistic? So how do I know what goals are realistic to me? I haven't been to the gym long enough to know what I can achieve.
Yeah, I feel like starting out, there's no realistic or unrealistic goals because you haven't actually started that journey yet. As you've trained for longer, you'll realize how your body adapts to training and stuff like that. So I feel like what we like to do with our clients, we give them short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. If you have short-term, medium, and long-term goals, then you can go through the process. And as you go along the process, you can adjust these goals, because that's what will tend to happen. You might see that a goal that you think is unachievable becomes achievable within a few months. And then other goals might seem super easy, and you might never achieve them, or not achieve them for a long period of time. So yeah, there's no right or wrong answer in terms of your goals and how achievable and unachievable they are, to be fair.
Okay, so aim for the moon.
Aim for the moon and you'll land on some stars, or whatever the saying is.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. No, I think I totally agree with that. I think you need to go to the gym firstly to understand yourself as well. So it is a journey. I think, as I said it before, never make goals when you're hyper motivated, where you're over, like, you're hyper motivated, and you think you should make goals after a while of going to the gym, seeing what's achievable for you. Not to say that there's a limit to what you can achieve, you can't, because there isn't. But when you go into the gym and you actually do something, then you can gauge it and know, okay, cool, this might be a bit longer. Maybe I need this amount of time, or so on and so forth. So go in there and actually just put yourself in the deep end, like just get started, just get into it, and then you can make a more conscious or a conscious decision after knowing. But I think what you said is also spot on. Aim for the stars. 3 fitness myths that people should be avoiding. 3 fitness myths. They're right off. They're cancelled. Don't believe in them.
Skinny tea.
No, I want something. No, not skinny teas. I want something that people might not know. Not that they'll know, but that something different, something out there, something that we haven't mentioned before.
Wait, we've done skinny tea.
We'll do back to back. Let's go back to back. Let's see if you can do it, innit?
I feel like you're setting me up because you've got them in your...
I don't have. No, this is off. Okay, I'm going to go off the mic. Okay. First fitness myth that you should be avoiding is that all fitness influencers are legit. Because some of them got a BBL and that's not actually, they didn't actually work for it. So the first fitness myth is don't believe everything you see. Seek the right information. Do the necessary research. Do your homework. Okay? Look into it. Second one, too.
I would say another fitness myth is...
You got to be on the spot. Let's go, bro.
Abs in 4 weeks. 4-week abs.
Well, you can't get abs in 4 weeks, no?
Well, depending on where you are. So everyone can get abs in 4 weeks, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my number 2. You got to get the third one then.
No, you got to dive into it though.
Dive into what? If you're weighing...
You can't just say anything.
But if you're weighing like 300 kilograms, for example, you're not going to get abs in 4 weeks.
Bob, number 3, I'll go, forget it. You can't freeze fat. You can't freeze fat.
He's cheated. He just looks at his phone.
Why? That's not cheating. You can't freeze fat. You can't go off the process, and like I've seen it. Like sometimes, like in your chin, you can freeze fat in certain areas.
What?
You can't. Yeah, there's people you can like freeze fat in your arms or something like that, and apparently you lose weight because you freeze. Anyway, you can't with fat loss. You can't target certain areas that you want to lose fat in. It doesn't work like that. If you lose it, you lose it globally,
not locally.
Not locally, yeah. So you can't, it's impossible to lose fat in local areas. You can build muscle in certain areas. So if you want to build your chest more, resistance training, you can do that. But you can't lose fat in a certain area. You can't say I want to lose fat on my thighs or my hamstrings.
So yeah,
Number 4.
Number 4 would be...
You got to put your hand up and say 4 as well.
Number 4, you're cheating though.
Come on,
you're looking at your phone. You keep looking at what are you looking at right now?
Bro.
You're cheating now. I'm done. This game's a bump.
Number 4.
The 4th fitness myth would be that everyone's a personal trainer.
You copy mine.
I don't know, man. That's a bump. You're cheating.
You're finished.
You keep looking at the phone. You keep looking at the phone.
This is going on the internet. I'll make it.
I don't mind. I quit.
You quit? Rah. Should I just go on my own then?
Give me your phone.
Come.
Put it there. Watch. Go on.
Put it there. Cool. You know what? You play seriously then?
Yeah, go play seriously.
Cool. All right, cool.
You can't say stuff that we've done before.
Okay, cool. Number 5 fitness tip is that you have to... Yes, it's another myth that you see around. That you have to eat meat and that you have to eat... Yeah, that you have to eat meat. You have to be a meat eater. You can't be a vegan and vegetarian and build muscle or have enough protein because You can do. You've got things. So if you're vegan, you can have eggs. Vegetarian, sorry. If you're vegetarian, you can have eggs. If you're vegan, you've got greens, you've got lentils, which got high protein profile. You've got edamame beans, you've got kidney beans. All these things have a high protein profile. So you don't have to be a meat eater to get protein off protein. Yes, it does say a lot more like B12. Meat does have like more amino acid profiles. However, if you still want to just get your protein up and you just, want to build muscle, you can do it under a vegan or vegetarian diet. So that's a myth that you...
All right, cool. Number 6. Watch, you're going to tap out off this one. Yeah?
Let's go, bro. Come on.
Number 6 is you have to train every day to get results. You don't have to train every day to get results. You can do 3 days. Yeah. In terms of resistance training anyway. So you don't have to train every day to get results. You can do a minimum of 3 days and still get very, very good results. So now Yunus hasn't got his phone. So let's see number 7.
I'll do that.
And it can't be one.
Gun.
It can't be one that we've covered before.
But I got one. I actually got one. You don't have to do the Stairmaster to get glutes, to build your glutes.
That is weak.
That's not weak.
That is weak.
Wait, that's not a myth.
That is weak.
How many people on the Stairmasters trying to get the butt?
All right, cool. That's like music. All right, cool.
It doesn't work then.
All right, cool.
No, that's the game. It's my turn. I haven't finished.
Done. You said it. I haven't finished. Why are you going to go into that? I have to explain. You're done. Why are you going to explain? They get it.
Because, no, they don't get it. Because they'll be like, you do.
They get it.
You can't. Because to build your glutes, either you're going to be having to build a muscle, and by going on a Stairmaster and going up those stairs, after a while, yes, but it becomes more endurance as well. You're going on for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes on a Stairmaster with something that doesn't give you resistance, that you're just going up repetitively. That's not going to build your glutes, especially after you've done it, after the novelty is probably worn off. Mm-hmm. So, boom, there we go. And I backed it. He's going to tap out on the next one. Was it 8, 9? 9. Yeah,
9.
Yeah.
Number 9 is that donkey kickbacks and other resistance band glute exercises are more effective than squats, hip thrusts, and stuff like that. So many studies have showed that squats, hip thrusts, leg press, for example, are way more effective than doing simple exercises like clams, resistance kickbacks, and cable.
No, it's true though. But just to help you out, it's true. It's true. You don't have to to build your glutes. You need a variety. Like I said, you need a variety of things, and even a muscle. You need a novelty. You need progressive overload. So if you're doing the same thing again, there's not going to be.
No, I don't need help. Okay, what's this one? This is the final one.
This is 10. No, it's not fine. We're going back to someone's. Yeah,
we're done after this.
Well, we'll go again because I want to see you fall. I want to see you fall. I'm not okay. Number 10. You have to, for you to lower your calories, you have to get rid of all fizzy drinks and all sweetness to lower your calories. So you can still. No, you're done. You don't have to do this.
Who said that myth?
They did. People say that.
He's making up myths. He's making. Hey, you're done. You're done.
Let me go again. Let me read it. 10. Let me go again. 10. Let me go again.
You bombed it.
Waist belts. I don't care. We've done it before. I'm going back again. Waist belts don't work. I've seen big man wearing waist belts. Take off the ting, bruv. Don't wear waist belts. It makes no difference, bruv. Because all you're doing is squeezing your organs, you're squeezing your lungs, and you're trying to suck it in. You're not snatching your waist like that. You're not snatching your waist because all you're doing is you're piling pressure on it. If you've got fat there, and what's it made of? What's it made of? Leather?
Neoframe.
If you've got fat there, neoframe ain't going to take away that fat. Like literally, by you compressing your organs, how is that going to mean? When you lose fat, you don't lose fat through compressing your organs. You lose fat through, your calorie deficit, having less calories, so on and so forth. So how are you, by tightening that area up, is it going to make you more snatch? It's just going to give you that false impression. Go on, 11.
You lost. You done one that we covered 11, already.
I won it. One more each.
That for years, one more each.
Let's go. One more each.
Final. No, I finished anyway because you started.
Cool. Yeah, you finished. Go on.
So final one is that you need to skip meals to lose weight. Game over. Game, set, match. You don't need to skip meals to lose weight. You can simply focus on portion control. And there's been studies by the NHS as well that have shown that portion control itself, you can actually decrease your caloric intake by 40%. So just literally you eating less of what you already eat now, you can cut your calories by 40%, and cutting your calories by 40% is more than enough for the majority of people to put you in a calorie deficit. So aid and illicit weight loss, using big words like that, you're done.
No,
bro.
you're done. I got one more just
You're
to finish
cheating.
off
You
with.
said waist trainers, you're
bro,
done.
I got one more to finish
Go on.
with. I forgot now. My mind
Exactly,
went blank.
because
You
you're done
know,
out. Done out.
I'm not done. It was actually a good one as well. Oh, what was it?
Doing your phone again.
See, you're on my head, bro. You're living rent free on my head. I had it. Oh, what was it? Oh yeah, that's it. You don't need resistance training or weightlifting will not make you bulky or will not make you bulk up. That is determined by your calories. If you're having a calorie surplus, in an extreme calorie surplus, and you're also doing resistance training, then that's where you'll bulk up or have the bulk up effect, even whatever that means, bulk up, the word it means. But if you're doing resistance training and having and maintaining a healthy calorie intake, you will be able to have fat loss or have lean muscle build. And also to build muscle, it actually takes time. You're not going to go lift up a dumbbell, do a bicep curl, then boom, your arm's looking like mine or Ez's. It does take years. It's taking years. So that's that. Also, I don't know why some people think that it's another fad that you're going to look like a bodybuilder. They're genetic. They got genetic steroids. They got genetic steroids. But they've got a genetic gift or genetic blessing. Like the same way, not everyone's going to be able to fight like Anthony Joshua or Usyk or Tyson Fury. They're the 1% of the 1%. So it's the same thing as these bodybuilders. Like how many people do you walk, like when you walk in the street, how many people do you actually see that are like bodybuilders? Like it's very rare. Like they've trained for many years, they've trained for a long time, implemented advanced training regimes, pushed their bodies to the limit, and also they're genetically gifted. So that is very unachievable. So it's a fad that you're going to lift some weights and look like them. It's not that easy. It's not like you're going to go do a boxing session and be able to fight like AJ, unless you're me. Cool. That's it. Boy, honestly, bro, some good topics covered there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was the best episode for me so far.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that to about every episode.
I know you say every episode, but yeah.
Yeah, but if you have your questions, please, I'll say that's the main thing. If you got your question, please send it in. We've had loads today, and yeah, we just love answering it, giving our opinion. And that's just our opinion, to be honest with you. There's no right or wrong answers, just what we think and feel.
My messages, don't at us on socials.
Yeah.
We don't play that.
Because it's just not going to end well.
We don't play that.
Do you think you'd have that fit for fitness influencer attitude? Do you think you'd, that really attitude, do you think you'd reply? What would be your response?
Kind of got to pull up. It's long. We're too old for this. I don't know what's going on in this world where people feel like they could say anything.
They should do fitness boxing. You know how they're doing the whole YouTube boxing influencing?
That's what I'm saying. Who would you fight? Who would you fight?
Man, who's out there? Give me the biggest guy, man. I'll take him, man.
Saying that.
No, I want a bodybuilder. I want a bodybuilder, bro. Give me a bodybuilder.
We could arrange it.
They can't fight.
Could arrange it.
Yeah, give me a bodybuilder. Who's the biggest? But I don't know. Get me.
I'll fight Ray workouts, bro.
Sir. That's you then.
He's at 4 foot. Put him in my pocket.
Yeah, that one's definitely getting tagged. Yeah, no, that's good. I was gonna say as well, just a little game. There's this thing on social media that people do. I've seen it on TikTok a bit. And basically, I'm going to give you a scenario. This is just to end with, it's just a bit of fun. Let me give you a scenario. And so basically, for example, it goes, I'm going to say this girl is a 10, but I'm going to say a trait, a characteristic that she has that might not be appealing. And then you've got to say what she scores out of then. So for example, she's a 10, but she only washes once a week.
0.
But she's a 10.
That's butters, bro. You're not washing.
So she's a 0.
That's nasty.
She's a 10, bro. She's like Beyonce level, let's say. But 0. She showers once a week.
Nah, 0, bro. That's wild.
0.
That's wild.
Okay, she's a 10, but she got a foot fetish.
Like a 1.
A 1? She's a 10.
Leave my feet alone, bro.
Okay, cool. She's a 10, but she smokes.
It's like the 1.
It's a 1. You got some harsh critiquing here.
Yeah.
All right, she's a 10, but she snores.
Depends how she snores.
Like me.
That's buzz. That's like a 4.
She's a 10, but she's not into fitness. She doesn't work out. She doesn't like fitness.
10.
10?
10.
All right, cool. Well, all right, cool. I think that's enough. Those are enough. We know Ez is harsh. That's what we gathered from that. But yeah, all right, cool. Let's wrap it up there. Gives you time to go carnivore.
Yeah, get some food. And,
Get your waist moving and that.
Snake hips.
Ez, yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Fitcredibles podcast. Can we get some noise? Yeah. Tune in next time for another episode. Like I said, if you got any question, please do send them our way. Like, tag, subscribe, send it to a friend of a friend. Send it around, guys. And we appreciate all the support so far. Check out the new website, www.fitcredibles.co.uk. Check out the merch, the clothing, online coaching, programs. And yeah, purchase something. Why not? About time. And we will see you next time. Out. Peace. Good episode, bro. Well done. Woo. We're out.